All right. I was trying to click over. I was like, oh God, I couldn't get it. There was a window over, and I was like, oh my God, it's starting off that type of morning. So, anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and get things started on this Friday. It is Friday the 17th. I can't believe it's halfway through. Less than a month until baby due. And then again, tomorrow is Melissa's birthday. So we got that this weekend. Um, yeah. So, interesting news this morning thus far, right? Uh, I left the yellow up here because again, not a whole lot of news on the morning. Retail sales obviously for the pound not good, and actually there was the adjustment before. Now again, a lot of this is I don't know. I would say it's a little surprising. I expected them to be a little bit better, although they aren't the only ones. Again, with the Chinese retail sales numbers being down, um, kind of one of those things. Maybe it's the U.S. Uh, it is also the interesting time. It's uncommon, right? When all of the 24-hour pip changes are green, right? You're like, wait a second, okay, right? You don't see this too often where like everything is technically up, even though it's like, well, wait a second, is the dollar strong? Is the dollar weak? What's going on? But all the majors are up right now. So if you're a major currency pair, you are golden. It's crazy, right? You don't see that too often. But yes, Melissa's pretty. She's kind of excited, kind of not excited. Like I said, I mean, you know how it is, Debbie, right? I mean, you have children. Tomorrow is 37 weeks pregnant, so it's kind of like, you know, it's there. She's ready. She's definitely ready. And yeah, so I mean, her big thing that she wanted for her birthday was not a baby. Like she doesn't want the baby to be born on her birthday, so she doesn't have to share it. So we're hoping that yeah, kind of hoping that he doesn't come tomorrow. Or I'm kind of internally hoping that he doesn't come tomorrow because then it will be one of those things. Like I told you, I didn't want him on. Not that I had anything to do with it, but yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. Um, but yeah. So I mean, like at this point, like we could go out at any time, and just to keep you guys filled in. So like, if depending on the day that the baby comes, I may. I told Todd's like we haven't talked about this. I'm like Todd, I'm too busy today. I can't talk about plans for when the baby gets here. But like obviously, just FYI, like I will notify you guys when the baby is obviously, you know, here coming, and then give you an update as far as what. Yeah, she's done, Debbie. I'll give you an update as far as what we'll be doing for chart school for that week. Um, I live like I don't know, not even 2 minutes away from the hospital. Like I think it's like 1.6 miles away or something like that. Like it's really not that far at all. Um, and with the dog being home, I'll probably be running back and forth anyway. So maybe I'll come back and do them in the morning, and then update you guys as we go. So we're within I would say we're within 2 to 3 weeks of baby time. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a big. I don't know. Maybe we'll do like an extra big giveaway. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that again the baby does not come on Saturday. I'm also hoping that the baby does not come on Tuesday because with the big Natics presentation, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, could they technically pull like a quick switcheroo at the last minute on Tuesday morning? Yeah. Would it be like a huge mess? Yes. So I'm kind of hoping Tuesday is not the day either. So yeah. No, at least the bags are packed. When she went into preterm labor before, I had to pack the bag, and you can imagine, you know, wife is yelling at me because it's my fault that she's, it wasn't my fault that we should preterm labor, but at that point, everything is your fault. And she's like, I don't have, I was like, there's your bag packed? No. I was like, all right, what do we need? So it's like, I need socks. So of course, I emptied half of her sock drawer out, right? Um, Maybe the 27th. That would be what, next Friday, Debbie? Is that right? 2 Fridays? When is that date? Oh no, that's a Monday. Yes, that could be a potential day, Debbie. I can, talk to the powers that be, and we can, that Monday is actually one of the weekends where we're like, this is a probable weekend because that puts us after 38 weeks. So yeah, that's a potential one. I'm kind of hoping it's then because I'm supposed to have the lacrosse camping trip on the second. So it's kind of like the 25th would be a good day, because if you figure 24 hours, right, for labor, right? Not that it needs to take that long because this is number two, but right. If she goes, starts labor the 25th, that would be a good time. That would be Monday. Baby, baby's out by Monday. The second would be difficult because if she has not had it by the second, then I got to root for then we got to go the ninth. So yeah, exactly. Well, so you know exactly what I'm saying. It's always your fault. Yeah, I have two daughters too. I'm never. Yeah, well, never. Right. never. So, but yeah, looking at the calendar, it's kind of like, man, we're at the end. It's like, wow, we're right here. I told my wife, I was like, I know you're tired. I was like, but the light is here. Like you're at the end. Like, I was like, you made it. You know, the year flew by. The kids are back in school. It's been a long. That's it. We're here. You know, we still have not do not have we have middle name. Well, actually, we have two middle names, right? But we don't have the first name yet. My mom keeps telling people, like, my mom will explain that Melissa's having the baby, but she doesn't say the baby. She picks a name that she likes and then calls it that name. So I'm like, Mom, stop. I'm like, that is definitely not the name. And my mom picks a name. She's like, this is a great name. I'm like, no, no. And like, I have specific rules for that. I told you guys the rules, right? Can't begin with A, can't begin with J, can't begin with R, right? Because I have Asher, Reese, and Jin. So we're not, like, can't be those, Mom. So that's definitely not it, you know? So I do have Debbie, you have no idea. I have more going on than that too. We have lacrosse practice on top of that. I have to yeah. I have to take I have an exam that I need to take on Monday or Tuesday. Well, I guess I don't know. I, depending on the time, I have to take an exam Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week, like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour exam. I have to finish studying for that 2 hour exam today and tomorrow. So I'm cramming for those things, and I have Melissa's birthday tomorrow. Yeah, and normal lacrosse practice for the boys on Sunday, and then after that, I have to run a 2 hour clinic for the county lacrosse group. Thankfully, at the same place, I don't have to go anywhere. Yeah, so I'm gonna be dead by Monday, guys. I'm gonna be dead by one. Like, if I can make it till next weekend, whew, I'm gonna be like, James, send in the liquid courage. I need the liquid courage next week, James. Um, I think Keith makes an excellent guy's name and not one bit trendy. Actually, I don't think Keith is anywhere in the rankings right now. So why am I here? Are you talking to Neuro or me? No. Yeah, no, I'm gonna, this is our normal routine. And I don't know who that is. And remember, Reese is still sick, right? Reese has been at Leah's all week with potential mono. Like, he was in the hospital Monday night into Tuesday morning with 103 fever, right? Still inconclusive. We know it's viral of some sort, but Leah is the babying parent. I'm like the disciplinarian, planarian parent. So, he's like, yeah, I don't feel good. Okay, you can stay home again. Okay. Can you get me five guys? So it's been like, I'm like, I feel like Reese is better. He hasn't had a fever in 24 hours. Asher's pissed. Asher's like, why is he not going to school? He's faking it. I'm like, he's not faking it, buddy. So, what's wrong with Reese? Oh yeah. So they think that Reese. So I don't know. It's kind of like he has he doesn't have COVID. He's been tested 3 times for COVID, but he had a 103.5 fever on Sunday. So we're like, oh crap, it's COVID. I was like, great. He's in school a week, gets COVID. Um, so then it's like, well, is it mono? I was like, is like meningitis? Because like that can happen, right? They tested that. They're pretty sure it's not that. They've done all the tests, the things that are elevated. But like the poor kid had an IV, like full blood panel. They did a CT scan of his lymph nodes, like in his neck. He's like, it hurts. I'm like, Reese, you're a baby. Like, Reese is the biggest wimp. He's the bigger of the two twins. Like, he's bigger than Melissa now. But he's like the biggest wimp. He's like, my legs hurt. I'm like, Reese, it's because you've been sitting in your bed for 3 days and you haven't used them. So of course they're sore. He's like, but my neck hurts too. I'm like, Reese, you've been looking at your tablet for 3 days nonstop. Of course your neck hurts. you know? But I think he's on the mend too, but he's better. But yeah, we've kept him away just in case he does have mono, but he has to go back Monday for like the final mono check. So it's been a fun September. Send the kids back to school. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah, that's what we've been dealing with. So anyway, markets are not really exciting right now. Obviously, I mean, 1, 2, 6, 0. Yeah, even the pound yen with the pound news has kind of been crazy. So I think at 10 o'clock, it'll be interesting to see what the consumer sentiment is. I guess it depends on whether those 500 people listen to the news or not. If they listen to the news, it's going to be negative because they're going to be like, oh, Delta's coming back. On the other side of the coin, if they didn't, then they may be like, hey, listen, this is really, really positive. There's been some great numbers out there. Inflation, we're talking about having a taper. I mean, in all honesty, I believe it should be. I mean, if I was polled for this, I would be more positive about, where we are, economically. I've said before, we'll never go to COVID zero. Seeing the data, it's interesting. I just heard. I was dropping Asher off this morning to the bus, and they were saying, I guess the FDA is meeting today to determine you know, kind of the course to go with the third booster shots. And it was very interesting to hear the takes on it. And again, this goes into consumer sentiment, and again, we may get a headline from this today. So, you know, the data suggests, like, using Israel as kind of the test bed of it right now. Yeah, there are more, breakthrough infections, but it's with the older population. But then when you look at the hospitalizations and deaths, you're not seeing the third booster have the same. They're still holding firm. So there's more infections, but then they said. So the question is the goal to prevent the infections, which again I think is dumb because we're not. It's a virus. You're not going to be able to prevent it. But the goal of the vaccine was to, obviously give you a better chance of survival, like to limit the deaths, limit the hospitalizations, limit hard reactions to it. If that's the case, then yes, there would be no. And it's interesting because the World Health Organization has said no. Fauci has now been credited as saying no, we don't need it if 1 and 2 is working. But yet the administration is very big on getting 3. And the question is there political lobbying by companies like Pfizer that have made billions of dollars now off this vaccine? Is that why we need the third one? Because right now the science is, if the thing is follow the science, then we don't need it. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting place. It's kind of like a boomer bust time for Pfizer stock. If I'm sure there's a lot of volatility in those options right now. But again, so that'll go back to, again, long story short, it'll go back to the consumer sentiment of whether or not people are believing that we're in a good place economy wise or not. With the retail sales the way that they are, I would. It's hard to say that we're not when we had that one number that is messing everything up. That one employment number was messing it up. But manufacturing numbers are high. Retail sales are showing high. I don't know. I don't know. The forecast is good, but if this sucker comes in at 65, yeah, watch out. Markets will be red for the day. All right. Tomorrow, no news, and then Sunday night we got a little bit of Chinese news, and it's really foreign direct investment. It's not really like a big mover. This mover at HPI, not really much. It's not going to be a big one. And then Monday morning early on, we have German PPI, which will be important. Okay, German PPI should be more than this, but again, that could counterbalance kind of what we saw. And we have election day in Canada on Monday. So dollar CAD may get a little funky. And we'll talk between then and now, but again, monetary policy. So yeah, federal election. The last I heard with this, I saw one thing, Trudeau was very big into, like, we got this. That's why we're calling the snap election. Like, it was a very kind of selfish thing on his part. And then the last bit of polling I saw showed that the Conservatives were leading. Like, the whole idea of, like, we got this, we're just going to take over. The Conservatives actually have it. But if the NDP, like the, not his party, the other, he's considered, I guess, the Liberals, and then there's the NDP on top of it. If those two groups combine, they can beat the Conservatives. But remember, they're two completely different groups with different agendas. So it's kind of like, I need help. Right. And I think he assumed that he would need zero help. So, yeah, Monday could be interesting for the CAD. There could be some major changes. And again, don't forget, there are certain things that we trade slightly differently. One of them are federal elections, right? New regime, a regime change, whether it is through legal methods like in an election, and things like a coup or a war, massive geopolitical things, we don't play the same retracements because they are obviously fundamental changes. Those are a little bit different than a standard kind of just like, hey, right? So those are big changes. So keep watch for those. All right. Let's go over into charts. Not that one. This one. Look at that. Oil came. Or this is the pound. All right. Let's start off with we'll go over here. All right, so Aussie dollar. Don't need to be on the 15-minute. Thank you very much. All right, so we had some levels, and we talked about it yesterday. We were sitting, and again, this is pretty ugly at this point. When we talked about yesterday, we were sitting kind of right in this level, right? We're approaching a level of 72.84. Right at the 1030, you can see the 1030 was a reversal. I mean, literally, there's our 1030 mark right there. There's our reversal time. So, has it done much since that time? I mean, it kind of went up. It bounced off a prior level here that we had seen sellers off of, turned and rolled back down again. Based really in this area of, area here. That was a small pickup, and we're kind of stuck. We've moved 6 pips in 24 hours. So, there was something you could have grabbed early morning at about 4 o'clock. I mean, really could have taken this in both ways, right? Here's last night's trade, right? There's last night's trade turning green. And again, you could have taken this one. Very, very simple. And again, depending on your broker, you may or may have not gotten into that one. Remember, we were looking for a clean break of this and we never got it. We were looking for a push all the way down. So it didn't really do it. But once it put this fella to go, any lower in and we got this, then it's kind of like you got to think about a reversal. Your reversals here late last night, kind of a session open trade. It was a decent runner, came back up and literally grabbed the very top side as well. There's the opposing side, right? And all it did is turn and flip. You could use this new level here as well. And again, this is on the 30-minute. It was a zone that was established at 4:30 in the morning. Not obviously ideal, right? But again, you could have used that level to there. Now the question is it big enough? Maybe not. And again, you could have tested it right off of that level. Really right there. Again, using the top here, the bottom here, you can see it touched and went. It's past its 1 to 3, not a very large trade. And again, that was kind of a little bit early at 8, but it's about 5.5 pips. So, could you guys have traded it on a Friday? Sure. And again, wasn't a lot of U.S. news. I would expect it to come back down and test the 70-80 down here. Kind of testing this 70-81 level and kind of, big question is, do we get down there for the reversal? Maybe, maybe not. I think the consumer sentiment beforehand is going to probably mess this one up. You're already seeing kind of massive, large bodied candles, very, very small wicks ahead of time. I think we'll run out of steam on this one faster than we don't. Okay, so could we take a bounce? Sure. I mean, it's still valid. We've only had one touch and we roll. The 10:30 time period is sitting right here. But again, we would need a bit of a news spike in and a kind of reversal. So the news at 10 kind of messes it up. It may actually be more of like an 11 o'clock reversal today more than anything else. All right. But don't forget, it is Friday. We want to make sure that we don't hold these positions over the weekend because God knows what could happen over the weekend. So, yeah, it'd be something small. And I would say at this point, you're probably out of any trade that you were in. Again, you could use this 72.81 as a profit target as well. If you wanted to turn this one into a profit, not an entry, you could absolutely do that. And that would be fine as well. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, basically the same thing. We talked about it yesterday, 80.42. We ended up kind of punching through it just a little bit. If you had made the adjustment this morning and said, okay, listen, I know I have a level there. If you took it in Nadex, no problem, right? If you took it in with spot, you may have gotten stopped out. It did go about a pip and a half past. So again, you may have gotten stopped on that one. If you'd used this morning level, right? There would have been your entry. Again, perfectly good setup. It looks just like it did in the Aussie yen. So again, whether you take it Nadex or not, and again, not the ideal area, but not horrible. And not quite. Again, depending on where you draw it from, you could make this a 50% retracement, right? You could make it a 50% retracement if you want to do the full thing. Oh, look at that! Wow. First off, that just scared me, and I did jump. I'm going to blame Ernest for this one. We're going to give Ernest like minus 50 pip chips on this one because I don't typically look at the pound yen or the pound New Zealand. But remember we were talking about setting alerts. I feel like we set this alert for Ernest. Did you guys hear the beep? It was loud in my headphones. Okay, you heard it? Okay, so it wasn't just me. Yeah. All right, good. It was loud, right? I mean, that thing was like bink. I was like, wow. Yeah. So yeah, minus 50 pip chips for Ernest for that one. Him and his pound New Zealand. But yeah, there you go. Guys, that's how alerts work with TradingView. Right? It's like, oh, what was that? And then you see this big. Although, you know what? In all fairness, like most of the time I'm not there when I don't keep TradingView up all the time. I don't do most of my analysis on TradingView. I do think that if you're using a white background, maybe it should be a different color, right? Because like white on white, it kind of gets lost. I mean, obviously it's in your face and you're like, oh crap, what is this, right? But I can click off of it. Did you see that, how I went past it? Yeah, I can't see it. Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, what I was saying before I got, that was loud. What I was saying beforehand, it would be very easy. And again, you can see it kind of here. If you wanted to draw from this last one here, you could have absolutely gone and done this. And again, it kind of got stopped out at the 61.8 edge. You have used that anyway. And, this is one of those things where people draw it like this and they'll draw it all over the place. No, we took it off this one, right? No, we're going to take it off this last push because that's the last time it was basing and that's a strong push, right? So it's one of those things. I just feel like with fibs, a lot of times it's, you have your rules, but you're like, no. It's like Elliott Wave. You're like, no. Here's the last push because look, here was a it pulled back and then this was a new high. So this was a change in trend. So I got to use this one instead. But then you're like, oh, I got it stopped out. But if but here was the original, right? Because all this basic, and that's where, see, I told you it was a 50, right? It's kind of like one of those like confirmation bias type scenarios. Like I can't move this, right? I cannot change this zone, right? It's there. I can't move. I can't say, oh no, it's this. I can't. I mean, I can tell you there's different zones, right? But I feel like you don't have that confirmation bias. But anyway, this one is obviously past its 1 to 3. There's a few areas of sellers in here, but again, I mentioned it with Nadex that I expected some yen strength to come back in again. Somebody turned their guitar up a bit too loud. What? Who's playing guitar? Neuro, my coffee is not as hot as it should be. Yeah. I made this coffee, Neuro, right before being on with Todd. So it's like, I don't know, I get on with Todd at 8:30. So it's an hour old. I just realized it when I drank it. I was like, I don't know. That's an option. I'll probably drink it before that stage because it's inside of a metal cup. Otherwise, I'd be like, Melissa, come heat this up for me. I do occasionally send messages to her, be like, hey, can you bring me water? But now that she's 36 weeks pregnant and, I'm not going to say it too loud. I can't say it because she's in the room next to me. She'll hear it, but she's going to stage where, I was going to use an analogy, but I'm not going with like an animal. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And I'm even like whispering it now so you can hear it, but she can't. Right. But I'm not going to ask her to go do it now because if she goes all the way downstairs and comes all the way back up, I'm going to hear about it later. She's at that stage of the pregnancy. Anyway, guys, this is the same setup. Aussie dollar, Aussie yen, basically the same thing. She hasn't messaged me yet, so she obviously did not hear me. The good thing is she does not listen to these sessions. Anyway, there was your trade of the morning for the Aussie yen. And again, in Nadex, we talked about how we expected the yen to drop on everything. That's where the yen gets its strength from, is the U.S. market. Now it is reacting from the U.S. market. Euro pound. So euro pound, I was actually expecting a little bit more reaction. It actually happened at 6. Here is, let's see, it was at what time? 2? Yeah, it was at 2. 2 o'clock is actually right here. So you can see it was kind of at a bottom, right? Could you have traded this one for a news release? Yeah, absolutely you could, right? It would have been a level here. Again, standard news setup. It pulled back in 30-minute level. We saw buyers step in here late last night. You could have taken this trade. Again, it didn't really break. It came right to the bottom. It would have to be right there. It had decent, and again, when I say decent, it moved about, 26 pips is not, I would say that's sub-ideal, right? For a couple of different reasons. One, is a 26 pip grab good? Yeah, 26 pip grab is good. Had you tried to trade this with Nadex, the strike width is way too wide. As you guys saw, I sent my people, right? My people at Nadex a message and said, this is some BS. This is number one bullcrap, right? And I actually got a reply that says, you are right. We will have our people work on this. And I was like, what? I've never, in 4 years, I think 4 years, 4 years of dealing with Nadex, maybe 4 years, I guess, 4 years of dealing with Nadex. I've never gotten a response back that has ever said, you're absolutely right. I agree. I'm going to have people work on it. Normally it's like, yeah, we have a hard time. It's like kind of like one of those ones they just brush it aside. So I saw that message yesterday. I was like, what the heck is this? Wow. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I got a message and they agreed that the strike width for a product like this that is at a, basically a 7-year low as far as daily movement goes, does not justify that larger spread. And yeah. So again, had to take it in spot currency. The risk on this one was rather small. You can see it's only about 5 pips. Again, 5 pip risk on something like that at news time. As long as you have a liquid enough, broker, you're good. I mean, you're well beyond, well beyond the 1 to 3 right there. 1 to 3 is right there. So again, you can say hit, boom, you're good. Okay. Right now, I wouldn't do much with this. I mean, we got about 2 hours to go. I'd say the next big level I'd watch out for a reversal is obviously up here. There is some pound news Sunday, Monday timeframe. So again, if we can rally back up again, that'd be a decent level to start selling from. We've seen sellers in the past. So 85.62, again, more of probably a weekend type setup there. All right. Again, you can see all the news is speckled here. So right now I wouldn't do much with it. Like I said, if you want to kind of, we can adjust this. This was more for that new setup. If we wanted to put a new bottom in, and again, just be cautious. It's been hit a few times, but you know, we could say right now our top and bottom of this position is kind of set up this way, right? 8007, yeah, 8507, 8562. Top and bottom are kind of our two levels, right? And we're skirting right down the middle. Okay. On a Friday with 2 hours left in their market. So yeah, we're gonna run out of steam real quick. Euro yen, kind of same thing. So this was that old area of interest, and again, there was the Harry Potter that occurred right here. I need to come up with a Harry Potter thing. Is there a light? Oh, there we go. Right, there's your Harry Potter right there. Typically, again, we don't use Harry Potters more than once. It's just a single side. Again, if you were looking for a short, there would have been your short on top, and basically the same setup. Um, that wouldn't have ended right there. It's the same setup as the Aussie yen, so really not much more of a discussion. European session obviously continued this rally, and it's really pushed a lot. We never really got the true confirmation bounce here. It literally came down and took off and then went. I would say right now, targets on this one, if you guys are short, watch yourself right here. Okay. Reason why is because, again, that's the last level of basing. It's a level that I'd watch out for. Would I take a reversal off of it? Maybe. Right. Maybe not so much for the euro, but for the yen. Again, we're having basically a one directional yen here. It probably will reverse at some point today because, again, that's a lot of movement in a very short period of time for just this pair. You're talking about 40 pips down, 40 pips since 8 a.m. So in 2 hours, that's pretty decent, right? Pretty decent movement there. So again, make sure you get your profit on that one. This was a level that was pretty easy. And again, remember, we do not take Harry Potter levels twice. You don't take a short and then a short typically. You've got to wait for it to come up and form a new base, and that's what it did here. So, yeah, nothing really else for this one. Again, we still got a Harry Potter down here. We can use that level. Look for a break. We'll bring this across. Right. Again, that'll be for next week. There. So there we go. We're set for next week. We don't need that anymore. And look, based right in there again, but we're going to remove that one. All right, euro dollar. So euro dollar, here we go. Kind of went up and turned at an area where there was not much there. Again, 8:30 session open basically. Session open actually, I guess, came over more towards this 9 time frame, but 8:30 is coincides with what we see typically for news. It's Monday, right there, and we had nothing today. So let's see what it is. 71. So yeah, a little bit less than what they expected. Above what they had before, but a little bit less. Inflation expectations higher though. So again, that's kind of some interesting there. So yeah, that'll probably tone this out a little bit. But again, I would still say look for the 117.34 as a potential area to turn. That's not a bad zone. This is an area of interest, so we'll leave that there. But this is actually not a bad formation. Let's see what level that is. 118.02. So again, kind of around number 2. It's not bad. And it's probably a fib. Just based off of this, it's probably a fib level. Yeah, close. Actually, it's probably fib level. Here you go. See, you can always tweak it to tell what you want. You see that how that happened? If I did it from here, it's like, it's kind of look. We just had the 50, right? Look, you can justify it. And then if I go to here, you're like, oh, look at that. Look, right from there. Oh, it's so close, right? If I do it off the bodies, yeah. It's 50, right? If you do it off this peak, you're like, it's close. It's kind of right in the middle, right? So it's still valid, right? And then if you do it off the full move, you're like, oh, there we go, right? Right at the 50. Look at that. The 50, it meets exactly dead on, right? So, but in general, I would say that it's a pretty. I think that level's good. I like the way I'm looking at it on a technical basis. Actually, we could probably shrink it just a little bit. It's fine. I like how it has the ascending candles. Right, you have one here, then a lower one, and that lower one is the explosion off. So I do like that level for later. Going to be obviously a next week type position. To there, and the 1 to 3 down. Whoops. And again, confirmation bias is the wrong term for that. There is actually a term for that, and I can't think of what it is right now, and it's kind of bugging me. So if any of you guys know what guys or girls know what that is, it's not a confirmation bias. Maybe it is a confirmation bias because I'm kind of tweaking it to confirm that they work. I feel like there's a better term for it. Like, yes, I could justify why I would use confirmation bias, but I feel like there's a better term. So anyway, that's where the push is. But I would say 117.34. Look for it. Pound yen. We just talked about this in the next presentation. And I mentioned you guys. I was like, it's the golden. It's that the golden trade. And Todd's like, I like that. Actually, we need to go. It's 1.3 is right there. I don't think I can. Can I change it? Risk text. No, it'd be nice if I could do it that way. I can't. So it's close. It's close to being out now. So, and that is our new symbol. Todd was like, "That's great." Like that is our symbol for our 50%. Right. So it's almost out. It's almost out. But yeah, I would say right now it's probably going to continue down. Like I said, the 10 o'clock is probably the 10:30 is what I'd be most worried about, especially because it's going back into a level of basing. But again, being a European based currency, there you go. It peaked through the bottom. You're out. You're 1 to 3 off your 50%, off your golden trade setup, right? Your 50% retracement. I hate how it doesn't box that top one. That kind of bugs me. Like, see, it does. Oh, it just changes the number. Oh, wait. Is it not that? I feel like these all change, but then this one's like, nope, nope, nope. See how I can change those, but I can't change that first one? Oh, you know what? Because it's not that one. It would be 100, which would be that one. There we go. But it has to change it. There we go. Now you guys get the full view of it. So I guess I could change it right there. I'll have to send a picture to Todd. Be like, hey. And actually, that one is not going to work for the orange because, yeah. There we go. There you go. I'll take this. Todd loves these things when you get pictures. He's like, oh my God, look at that. Like, I feel like I've taught Todd so much about trading. Right. Okay, good. I don't need that. Yeah. So your trade's out. Like I said, watch for some type of reversal, decent level of basing, decent pop. It was late night, so you don't have to worry about it as much. But again, 10:30 reversal news is out. Trade is over. If you haven't taken this one, then yeah, not much you can do on it now. It's already too late. Pound dollar. So pound dollar is approaching a level. I do like this one still too. Again, this is kind of lining up with that 10:30 reversal down at 137.60. It's a level that's been there. Again, news we were looking for a bounce off that level, didn't quite make it. So, question is, can we get through in the next 12 minutes, 13 minutes, and see? Yeah, I mean it's decent. It would be a reversal. It would make sense on the pound dollar and the pound yen. Let me see dollar index wise. Dollar index, unfortunately, and we're in a wick right now, so it's not the ideal spot for the dollar index. But again, it does look like it's starting to have some issues. So maybe it's there. I'd say watch out for it. It's got a little bit more to go, but 137.60. Look for a bounce again. Make sure you're out of this one early today. This guy right here. I was drawing something for Todd earlier. I don't remember what I was drawing. We were doing something with this one. We didn't talk about it. Anyway, still waiting for this one to come up. Trade is the same. There's your profit target on that. We can actually we can do a small level in there, and that's one we may use later. But this is kind of how this one's setting up going into the next week. There. And look at that. We called for the down based off of news, and it kind of went sideways before dropping. So, housing starts, corn, soybeans. No, I don't need any of those. there's a level there, but there's kind of a more aggressive level. So yeah, I'd say, I mean, yeah, there's an aggressive entry. It's been hit a few times, and I don't even know if I would use it again. I mean, this is a decent one right here, but um, again, we talk about reversals. There's kind of your small reversal right now. I think I'd wait for 127.16 for the day. Just think we're kind of getting to that stage. So yeah, dollar cat. I mean, it's 0.07. So I mean, it's really it's moved 13 pips. It's just not. Being on a Friday, any other news? I don't think we have much more. But yeah, look for it to come up. And again, I would be okay with that. I wouldn't take it over the weekend, but I do like how we're in close proximity right now. We're about 30 pips from that 127.16. That would definitely be an area where we'd have potential to be able to take this short going into into early next week. Um, and actually, if we think about it again, remember their Canadian election is on Monday. Um, that would right now the Canadians going to have a bit more weakness because of political uncertainty, right? Political certainty goes in on Monday with that election, that would bring CAD strength back in. So that would give us a potential rollover effect. So yeah, it could be, again, that's one of those scenarios that's possible. So yeah, mark that one off. I don't think there's much of a trade out of it today, but it could be Sunday. Um, dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss on this one, guys. We made it to let's see, we made it. How far do we make it up? We made it to 1.5 before getting stopped. So you would have got stopped at a break even on this one. Again, you're not, the buyers here gotcha, right? You're not going up over 1.5 to 1. It was actually 1.7. You're not going over 1.5 to 1 and then you're risking 1.5 to, lose 3. So doesn't really make any sense. You got stopped out at break even, or probably banked a few is the better way to do it. So right now we can take this level off. And we could technically, I guess, use it for Harry Potter, but I would say right now it's probably more of a target to the downside than anything else. Do we want to mark that area? Yeah, there's probably something sitting right here. So yeah, I would say my next kind of area that I'd be looking for a bounce off of is 93.09. We need a little more help for it. Problem is we're in such close proximity right now. We're within like 20 pips of it. Again, it's not a position we would take over the weekend, but it's also lining up. Where the dollar CAD was coming up to an area of sellers, the dollar Swiss is also coming up to an area of sellers. As well as if you look at the dollar index, it's got a little bit more room, but if it pushes up on those two, it is also coming up to an area of sellers. So a few different areas, right? They're all kind of lining up the same way. That tends to be the best way to take them. As far as another trade entry for today for the dollar Swiss, don't have it, so we're going to move on. Dollar yen. Dollar yen also coming up to an area, and it looks like this one is actually already turned. How much did this miss it by? 1.9. So we talked about 110, 110.10 all week. It looks like this one has already started the roll on us, and it's going to be too late now. We'll bring this forward for next week. It's going to be a while though before we get over to here, so we'll just kind of advance it forward. We don't need this area of interest anymore. We've had our 3 touches here. We don't need that. Not enough room for that one. We got this guy right here. And do I mark this one off? Yeah, probably. What time is that? 8:30? Yeah, I'll probably mark that zone off. That's not as good though. I would say right now, these are the biggies. Okay, the 110.10. We've already mentioned that one before. Talking about that one all week. I think this one is important to note. And again, this would be more for on the long side. And again, depending on when we hit it, the 110.67, again, nice, decent base, touch, and then boom, explosion off of it the second time. Late at night too. So that's decent. And then again, we have this area down below that could provide either way. But I think it's more of it's a higher probability trade if we break through the 109.10 and then look for that to drop down closer to the 108, probably 85-ish, probably like 30 pips to the downside on that. So it's all right. I'm hoping that this is not the turn point. That would suck to miss that by 1.8 total. We've been calling this one all week. So, but it could happen. It could happen. Let's look at oil. Oil's finally putting some movement down. And again, we talked about the numbers being bad. Obviously, with We mentioned it during Nadex. Not good for oil. Lower demand, and then again, consumer confidence being down, lower than expected, all low on demand, and that's why we've seen this kind of push to the downside. Now, we do have areas of buyers in here and kind of just below it as well. So, uh, I wouldn't be surprised if this is what we do for the rest of the day, right? Um, the news is in. It's 10:30. We're at typically where we see those reversals. Um, has that much really changed now? I mean, we've kind of taken the brunt of all the negative information at this point, lower demand. If it goes back up and kind of comes somewhere in the blue area, and we close kind of where we opened, it's kind of a blah, just flat day. And again, that could be Friday for that. Gold. So gold also has one of those like magical ratios. And again, now that I know what I need to do, I need to click this. Um, Now it gives me the full picture, right? Yeah, I would say there's a 50% there at 176.50. And again, this is taking it from kind of the peak, to the trough. I'd watch it. I think 1739 is really the next big area where I'd be willing to take, buying, positions at. With the consumer confidence coming not as high, again, that's more of a kind of a gold negative. It's down 1/4%. It's not really that much. And again, it's probably going to come. I would say for gold, remember gold closes early. It's at 2, not 4. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of just finish and end up here, and it just starts getting really, really slow. It's where I got to like stretch it out, where it comes down and then it goes into like one of these things, right? So I don't know that gold at this point is going to have any additional trades for today. For next week, obviously we're going to need some inflation data to help us. Someone's got to mention inflation, that it's we got to start controlling it. But the 1740 is I think where we got to look for. So silver obviously is going to take a bigger hit. Again, these Reddit traders they're trying their best. They're like, please give it to us. We don't have a level till 2210. We're at 2240 right now. We got 30 cents more to move. It's about 3 hours worth of ATR, or I guess an hour and a half, 2 hours of ATR that we would need, but that puts us within an hour of when the silver market closes. So I also believe that this one will kind of start to peter out once it gets into that 22 level. I would like to see, and again, look at this. Silver's supposed to be at 100 by the end of the year, and look at this, right? Since really the peak of last year, like I don't know. Do you guys remember when was that Wall Street Bets or whatever the heck it was called? When did the Reddit post happen? Was that like October, like September, October, August, something like that of last year? I thought it was last fall when they made all those calls, but by the end of 2021, it'd be $100. Do you remember when it was? I don't remember. I think that's when the AMC. I don't know. I felt like the AMC GM, yeah, the AMC and the GameStop thing. I felt like that was more like January, February time period. But I felt like silver was before, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. For some reason, I felt like silver. They called it last year, and then early in the beginning of this year, like January, maybe is when they did the other stuff. But I could be wrong. I don't know. This is where I question whether or not I had COVID. They're like, yeah, the COVID fog is a real thing and it's long term. It's like, I don't know if I'm just getting old and what. I don't know. Too much stuff has happened in the last year. But anyway, so yeah, so I think that's what we're looking for. 2210. Yeah, I think January was GameStop. Yeah, right. I believe that was beginning of the year, but I felt like they had done silver at the end of last year because they were like, "Yo, this time next year." Yeah, I could have kid fog. Yeah, I told my wife like somehow I got put back into that. I don't know if you guys do this or not. Like sleep, I have like weird sleep cycles. Like it's like I hit a certain level and then any noise. I used to sleep like a like a rock, right? Like I would sleep like as a kid, like you couldn't get me out of bed. Like it didn't matter how much noise there was. Like it was once I woke up, it was easy, right? But like the older I got, like once we had the boys, um, like I would hear like them like make one noise, and I would like hear them in the other room, right? I was like I was like an eagle with like instead of vision with like hearing. I was like, huh? I would wake up like I tell Lee all the time, like, yo, it's your kid. Like so when we had the boys, the way that we survived was each night we would have one kid and we would alternate the kid back and forth. And it's like if your kid woke up, you have to deal with them, and if your kid woke up, you had to deal with them, and we would swap it back. So it wasn't like it was like the one kid that was always getting up and you were stuck with them. But I would be able to hear them make a noise of like, "Yo, it's your kid, wake up!" And Leah hated it. And it's just kind of the same thing. After that, I was never like I hit like 6 hours of sleep, and if there's like a squirrel eating outside on the deck, I wake up. And God forbid I wake up and it's light outside. Doesn't matter if I went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. If the sun comes up at 6:30 and I wake up as soon as my eye sees it, it's light. Doesn't matter how tired I am, I cannot fall back asleep. It's horrible, horrible. But yeah, for some reason right now I'm at like this 5:15, 5:36 thing in that range. It's not 5:30, it's like 5:36. I keep waking up. I don't know why. But Jen does have me going to bed earlier now, so yeah, it's all right. I'll say this loud enough so my wife can hear it. My wife was letting her have red Skittles at 10 o'clock last night. Yeah, I was like, "You're giving her red 40 and sugar. Are you insane?" And she's like, "Well, I'm retiring for the night because I'm tired." I'm like, "You just gave her red Skittles and this." So the way I get back at her is if I turn a movie on and get horizontal, I'm out in 2 minutes, and it drives her crazy. So it was our battle last night. But yeah, silver, blah blah blah, and let's look at that. We missed it. We were talking about this at the Open. For Nadex, I was like, "Oh, we're so close to the level. If you can get there, get into it." And again, it just kind of off the bottom of that green candle. It was right there at the Open. 9:15. It took off, so it kind of left. I don't know if you guys missed it or not, but it broke back through 44.50. I would say the next level on the downside. And again, there wasn't really a ton holding us there. That would have been your target for the short, and it blew through it. Right. We're at the 10:30 time frame right now. We're at reversal time, although the news we just had was not the best. But again, I think it will reverse. There's plenty out there to be positive about. So I would say look for this 44.30. We got a bit more room to run for it. But again, if we have kind of an end of the day rally today, everything's red. With the news today, I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be great because again, the sentiment is things are getting worse, not better. Not worse, but like not as good as what we originally thought. And then the retail sales data. So we'll see. There can be some news later. I don't know. It could be the FDA news that, yep, no, everybody needs it. We got it for everybody. This is kind of I would say the ES being at 0.6 down versus 0.8 of the NQ. It's kind of on the weaker side, but we could get a reversal from it. Again, that would have been your morning trade. NQ, kind of the same thing. We talked about it. We talked about rising up to that level. We talked about the basing that was right here. This one would have been a bit funky though. 8:45, 9. Yeah, this one would have been close, but again, it came crashing down. We talked about it was kind of setting up for a short, not as high. Did hit that level of basing, and what did it do? Went right back down to our dotted line, our 15,400. Again, is what it is. YM, same scenario, same drawing right there. There's your green candle bottom. This one took off at 9:30, right at the Open. So again, well beyond a 1 to 3 to the downside. Looking for it to come down to this level. And again, we do have a, kind of a Harry Potter right here. Right. Actually, it would be more like, there we go. Look at that. There's your Harry Potter. Yeah, I would say negative. I mean, there's not much you can say, guys. It's already bounced off a level. Again, mentioned it in Nadex that we're approaching a level to take a short. So yeah, and then this one a little bit different. This one was a whip back and forth. It did grab this upper level, and again, your trade was out here, so I don't need this anymore. Let's get that off. Had to put in the new level off this level. You can see that right here, 9:30 collapse. I don't think this one is done. It's 1 to 3 though. Let's see. It's close. Let's see. Did we do it? Did it go? It's right. I hate how it doesn't draw sometimes because it's looking at this. It's like, oh no, it came out the bottom. It's like, no, that's not what it did. We see on 3 minute. There we go. 1 to 3 is there. So no, it skirted right on the bottom. Look at that. It did not hit its 1 to 3. And again, this one would have been a little bit sketchier because of the big thing. But yeah, look at that. That is earnest quality stuff right there. Right? That is earnest level rejection. That's Pipette gang all over the place. Right there. That is definition of Ernest's profit target. Pipette gang in the Russell on the 3-minute chart. Now again, it is Ernest, so it should go through, guys. It should hit the full profit target. It may do that in the next 3 minutes here. But yes, that is Ernest level Pipette gang right there. Because look, that's dead on. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. That is dead on as a 1 to 3. I did grab the top and bottom of that zone perfectly, so it's dead on. And that's not even like a 3.01. That's right at 3. So again, Ernest level Pipette gang rejection right there. Look at that. And look how close that is. I don't know if you guys can see it if I zoom in. Look at that. Look how close that is. That's by like not even like a whisker. So right there, this is skill. And again, the reason why this is skill is because look, it's going to come through and bust. It'll probably do it right now. But look at that. Come on. Come through. I need you. There we go. Bam. He's out. Okay. But this is why this is hard. This is why trading, this is why the logo is what the slogan is, right? Trading is simple, but it's not easy. Here's why. This goes back up again. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose all my profit. I need to get out of trade. Then it goes down again and it does it again. You're like, listen, I've hit down there twice and it's starting to turn. Look, it's like it's going higher. The tide has changed. I need to take my profit out, right? It tests you psychologically and then it goes past and hits your full profit target. So it's like it's training you. It's like, I'm going higher. And you're like, okay, fine, I'll get out. I'll take my 1 to 2. I'm happy with that. And then it goes to your full profit target afterwards, right? So again, that's one of those things why set and forget trading is better. But yes, I'm glad we got to experience that together because again, that's what Ernest has to deal with every single day that he is a trader. Because every single day he's got one of these that literally turns around right before his profit target. And not just once, but sometimes even twice. So there you go. Ernest, I know you don't trade Russell that often, but if you were, that would have been you today, buddy. Yes, but that's why, guys, Ernest has mastered the mental side of it. So that he stomachs these and holds them till the end. But it's still not fun ever, right? Dealing with that. So it's Soros. Yeah, exactly, Ernest. It's Soros. Yeah. So, all right, cool. All right, so with that said, let's pull in. Let's go ahead and do our giveaway for the day. So if you guys are watching the channel and you have not gotten in yet, it's !ticket to get yourself a free ticket. Anybody can win. Subscribers don't have any more benefit than anybody else. They just accumulate pip chips more. You can use them to buy mentoring sessions and indicators and things like that. After I do kind of the course revamp in the next few months, I will probably put there will be some smaller classes in there. You'll be able to buy some smaller level classes as well with the pip chips. So not there yet. So it's still kind of fun. And then at the end of the year, I'll also do like a pip chip cash in where you guys can get some some swag, some t-shirts, sweatshirts, kind of stuff like that. I'm going to put that up there where you guys can cash those in to get some gear. Oh, Russell's your 20-minute. Okay. All right. So what do we got in here? So we still have, Ernest is not in yet, but we still have the battle. Remember, if we go to the leaderboard right now, right? We still have these two. He's now 50 chips up on her, almost 50 chips on her. I think Marina may have shown up a little bit late today, or she disconnected and then reconnected. Look at that. But anyway, because Neuro won yesterday, Neuro is in for his double. So Neuro is in his 100 pip chip mode. Everybody else is in for 25. Ernest is in for 3. He's going to start taking it serious. But yep. So we'll got a little space on her there. But anyway. Oh, Ernest won yesterday. Right. Ernest won yesterday, right? So Ernest is in for 100 pip chips today. Yes, because Ernest played the statistics. Ernest is once again playing the statistics today, guys. He's using house money. But Ernest, Nero, I appreciate the honesty. But trust me, I'm sure Ernest would have. I probably have 6 messages in my my DMs now. Ernest be like, no, I won with screenshots. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna close it down. We're 2 minutes early today. We get down on time. But again, I got lots of fun to study today. So anyway, with that said, let's see if Ernest takes it away. Ernest probably has 10 tick. Yeah, Ernest has got a 33% chance of winning today. Neuro's right behind him, so we'll see how it goes. Winner of today's drawing is my twin brother, Ernest. Yeah. Wait, what? 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 What just happened? What just happened? My My shock is the same as everybody. Like, what? What? I know, right? Hold on. Hold on. I feel like, let's see. Can I make this bigger? Can I not make it bigger? It's a Kevin Hart one. Yeah, so Will won. So look at that, guys. Will took one. Yesterday, if Will would have won, he would have like made it like a big, big piece. But now look, he's running away again. So Will get his 25 pip chips. It's almost like Will knew. I don't know how he did that. Right? Will was so negative yesterday. Will's starting to pull away a little bit. So Morini's going to have to pick it up and start, getting those wins again for next week. So yeah, look at that. Yeah, still not much. It's better. 17. You can see that dollar is picking up a little bit of speed again. So we'll see what happens. All right, Will owes me for beating Marini yesterday and him winning today. It's all me. Ernest is like, hey, there is no I in team. there is no I in team. I know, but now we all know what's going to happen, right? Will, you just won again, right? Again, that means if this is your win for the fourth quarter, right? You're in trouble, man. It will be 2022, right? So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I need to jump into some books and get to that studying. And every time I step out for a meeting, I end up winning. I know. Will's like, I will never be here for the drawing again. I will literally step out every single time. Yeah. So, all right. With that said, guys, if you need me and girls, I will be on Discord. You guys can message me. As I said, if anything happens with the baby, I will let you guys know. Like I said, if the baby's born tomorrow, Ernest, I'm coming to Texas. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I was good yesterday. And I can't say vegan because, like I said, I had kimchi, and I believe and this is like authentic kimchi from the Asian market, right? I feel like there's oyster sauce, so I know it's gluten free. It has gluten free on there, but does not say vegan. So I'm pretty sure that it probably had some oyster sauce in there. So I almost ate vegan yesterday, but I had a vegetarian lunch, guys. I love me some baby bok choy. I steamed some baby bok choy, had a little soy, sesame oil, ginger, and I needed supposed to be lime, but I only had lemon. Drizzled over the top of the baby bok choy. I had rice, and then I had mustard green kimchi. I normally just get cabbage kimchi, but they had mustard green, and I like mustard greens, so I got some of that. I got to tell you, within 45 minutes to an hour later, I was ravenous and felt like I hadn't eaten in 3 days. And then I started eating everything not nailed down again. So much for this whole like, oh, listen, I'll eat healthy. I'll eat I'll try to eat like a vegetarian thing. And I wasn't doing it on purpose, but then I made up for it far worse. I will probably eat 6 pounds of red meat this weekend. I probably won't even cook it because I ate vegetarian lunch today. So yeah. I'm telling you, literally, I was like, I am starving. I feel like I haven't eaten in 3 days. This is why I can never fast. You guys that can fast, more power to you. I can't do it. I wish I could. I can't. Um, Not only do I get grumpy when I don't eat, but holy crap, I don't have any willpower. It's like package of cookies. I'm gonna house that. Chips. I'm gonna house those too. Thankfully, with the boys here though, we don't have chips because they just eat them. But Melissa bought me a thing. So I'll leave you guys with this. You guys will laugh at this one. Okay. I love my wife. This is one of the reasons I love my wife so much. Listen to this. So Melissa Melissa loves deals. Like she's definitely like a very frugal person, right? Everybody loves Girl Scout cookies. I like the peanut butter ones, right? The tagalongs, the one that's like the cookie with the peanut butter on the top, drenched in chocolate. Love those, right? But I absolutely hate spending $5 or $6 a box for whatever it is because there's like five in each row, right? Like 20 cookies. Like, are you kidding me? Right? For $5, right? And then they lace them with Coke, so I have to buy like 5 more boxes of them. Well, we found knockoff versions at Aldi, right? They just happen to be produced in the same exact plant with the same exact address as Girl Scout cookies. Now they taste slightly different, but they're basically the same cookie. Instead of being $5, they were 99 cents. So Melissa used to get like 5 boxes. I'm like, yo, I'm going to get fat. Can you not buy 5 boxes? Right? Now I appreciate them when they're there, but I have no willpower. I'll eat the entire box. Last week she went back again, and this shows you that inflation is real. My 99-cent cookies from actually, is it Lidl or Aldi? I forget which one, but she likes both of them. I think it's Aldi. My 99-cent knockoff Girl Scout cookies are now $1.29. That's 30% inflation. 30% inflation on my knockoff cookies. So I'm just going to tell you right now, tell me inflation is not real. My knockoff cookies have gone up 30% in price, and I am not happy about it. And I was like, this is exactly why you shouldn't buy them anymore, so I won't get fat. So, yeah, Ernest, I'm actually overdue for a rack of ribs at this point. So, yeah. All right. With that said, there's my soapbox for the day. I was pretty good in the morning, but now I am off to the races. Yeah, I'm going to go get some more coffee. Like Monero said, you guys have a great one. If you need me, message me on Discord. If not, you guys have an absolutely great weekend, and I'll catch you guys Monday. Take care.